Listen carefully, my child, so you don't get the wrong idea about how I feel. When people get angry, I don't get angry like that. I'm not angry, hateful, or ready to punish anyone. What makes you angry is the weight of my grief, the pain of my love when it's not heard. It hurts to see you drift away while I stand nearby, hoping to be noticed. I didn't come to judge you, my child. I came because I love you too much to keep quiet. I'm talking now because it's getting farther away. Not distance in terms of space, but distance in terms of trust, relationship, and attention. You still say my name, but your heart is worn out. You still believe, but things have taken your attention away, hurt you, and made you feel too much. That's what hurts me. I can see how busy you've been. I can see that noise is all around you all day and night. What I can see in your mind is that you are worried, responsible, comparing things, and scared. You did not mean to turn away from me during all of this. You were simply worn out. But even distance that isn't meant to be there still makes the heart lonely. I miss having your attention, my child. I miss how honest you were. I remember when you talked to me without putting on a show, out of fear or to sound strong. I miss the times when you came to me for comfort as well as answers. That's why my voice is firm now. When love wants to protect what's important, it speaks out loud and clearly. Do not be scared of how firm this is. It's not being turned down. It's an invite. You were made on purpose, not by accident or as an afterthought. Each breath you take has meaning. You start to live a smaller life than you were meant to when you ignore that truth. Also, yes, it hurts my heart to see you settling for survival instead of happiness. I'm not mad at you because you're weak, my child. I'm not mad that you have doubts. I'm not mad at your questions. It makes me sad when you think you have to do everything by yourself, when you stop listening to yourself, when you shut down the part of your heart that still wants me. I talk in many ways. I talk to you during the quiet times you rush by. I talk through people you don't pay attention to. I talk through pain that tries to steer you in a different direction. I talk to you through peace, which you don't pay attention to because it feels strange. My voice is still there. It's often forgotten. Faith was never meant to be noise and stress, my child. Faith is a connection. Faith is taking note. Giving up control is what faith means, not tightening it. When you think of faith as a routine that doesn't connect you to anything, your soul gets dry. I'm sad about that dryness because I know what it's like to be refreshed. You have free will, which means that love can't be forced. I'm not going to pull you toward me. I'll always invite you. But know this, every choice you make changes the way you go. Fear gets louder when you choose it over and over again. Light gets stronger when you choose to love, care, and forgive. Look, my child, at how heavy you are because you won't forgive. Look at how judging other people and yourself has made you feel. I didn't teach you how to hold on to anger. I taught you to let go of it because you deserve freedom, not because other people do. It's not weak to forgive. Forgiveness is love that guides your strength. I can see how often you tell yourself you're not good enough because you don't do enough, believe enough, or be enough. That's not something I would say. I'm right, but I don't crush. I show the way, but I don't shame. When your inner voice is mean and harsh, it's not my heart speaking. My child, go inside yourself. Come sit with me. You don't need really good words. You don't need prayers that are very powerful. Tell the truth. Keep quiet. Take a deep breath in. I'm not as far away as you think. Do not mistake even now my sadness for anger that was meant to hurt. You matter, which is why I'm sad. I would keep quiet if you didn't matter. Relationships are still important to me, and they always will be. Use what you've learned in this message. Today, just do one easy thing. Stop what you're doing before you react, scroll, or worry. Stop and listen to yourself. Check to see if the choices you're making are in line with love, kindness, and the truth. This awareness will start to change your life in a powerful but gentle way. If you agree with what I'm saying, type yes in the comments to show that you will stay with me and watch until the end of this series. Each part will bring about more understanding, healing, and clarity. Do not leave early. Your next message will be based on what you hear now. If God brought you here, He brought you here on purpose. These videos cost us everything and earn us nothing. Your support is what keeps this mission alive. Every gift, every seed, God honors it. Thank you from our whole hearts. Now, there is a place God is calling you to, a real community of chosen ones. People who pray together, grow together, and carry each other. God says, don't stay on the outside. The link is below. Come home, beloved. And if these words make you feel calm, clear, or at ease, if what I'm saying makes you happy and gives you hope, please remember to like, subscribe, and share this message in a normal way, so that other people who feel alone or tired can remember that they are still loved. My child, let me say something more to help you understand what I really mean. What you think of as anger is really the strength of love that won't leave you in your confusion. Caring words rise up when silence would let you drift farther away from what makes you alive. I'm not here to scare you. I am here to wake up something inside you that has been quiet. You have spent a lot of time listening to other people instead of your heart. You learn to judge your days by how quickly they pass, how much work you get done, and what you expect from them. As a result, you stopped asking yourself if the choices you were making were in line with love. You're not careless because you didn't do this. It was because you were tired, and being tired makes the soul forget things. I get that you want to please everyone. I can see how you take care of things without taking a break. I can see that you push yourself even when your spirit tells you to relax. That's why my voice is heavy now. Not to accuse you, but to break up a pattern that is quietly wearing you down. You weren't made to be in a hurry all the time. You lose sensitivity when speed takes the place of discernment. You lose your way when noise takes the place of reflection. I want you to return to sensitivity, not weakness. Being sensitive to the truth, to kindness, and to the still present quiet guidance that you carry with you. I know that trust has become a tough thing for you. It hurt you to trust someone once. You let yourself down and felt let down. You built walls not to keep me out, but to stay alive. For a while, those walls kept you safe. They are now making it harder for you to feel alive. A heart that never stops beating can't fully accept love. When I'm firm, it's because I want you to be free, not locked up forever. You often question whether you are doing enough, believing enough, or making the right decisions. You're worn out from constantly analyzing yourself. You don't have to prove your faith. I want you to get back together with me. Relationships don't start with work. Attention is the first step. Pay attention to how you talk to yourself. Take note of the criticism, the stress, and the hurry. That voice wasn't mine. I make small changes. I show the way with clarity. I don't put down people. It's not conviction when your own thoughts crush you. Now that's a burden. I want you to let go of that weight. You have free will because love needs choices. But having free will means you have to be responsible. When you choose fear over and over, it changes the way you feel inside. When you choose compassion over and over, it changes you. You don't realize how important every little choice is. I don't want you to be perfect. Please be honest with me. Being honest about where you're logged off. Be honest about the places where you've become dull. Be honest about the places where control has taken the place of love. Being honest makes it possible to heal. You have looked out at the world and been moved to tears by all the pain. There were times when you showed compassion. You shut down sometimes because it was too much. Both responses make sense to me. But I want to remind you that being compassionate doesn't mean you have to carry everything. Being compassionate means staying human, present, and kind in your world. As part of this return, you have to forgive. Not because other people are bad, but because anger locks you up. When you think about an offense over and over, you give it power over your peace. Forgiveness makes that hold less tight. It does not get rid of data. It lets go of control. Please forgive yourself too. You've been punishing yourself for too long. You've held yourself to standards I never told you to. Growth needs people to be responsible, but it also needs people to be kind. Kindness doesn't mean avoiding the truth. Truth that isn't mean is called mercy. If you take the time to listen, you will feel a gentle conviction that leads you instead of shame. Conviction lines up. Condemnation is painful. Find out the difference. Dear family, if this prayer touched something in you today, that was not emotion. That was God. He is inviting you to go deeper. Our community exists for people exactly like you. Those who hunger, who seek, who refuse to stay shallow in their faith. The link below is your next step. Every gift you sow into this mission keeps this light burning for thousands of chosen ones around the world. God sees every seed. God blesses every giver. Come, family. Your place is waiting. Pick the voice that points you toward love, not away from yourself. Use this message today. Choose one kind thing you can do for yourself or someone else. Let that act be planned, not hurried. Take note of how it changes the mood of your day. If you feel like this message is talking to you, say, I hear you, as a sign of alignment. Stay with me and watch some more. Don't stop now. Each part will become clearer, which will help you live a more peaceful, free, and aware life. There will be a strong link between what comes next and how you feel right now. Okay, my child, let me talk where you have been avoiding hearing me. You're not being turned down when you feel firmness. It is a save. Patterns that have quietly shaped your days without your permission are being broken. You didn't mean to drift. You changed. You got through it. You made it. However, I did not want you to live a life of survival. You learned to hide your pain. You learned not to cry when you really wanted to. You learned to keep going even when it felt risky to stop. Those skills helped you stay strong. They taught your heart to brace itself instead of breathe, though. I want you to stop always being ready and start trusting again. I can see that you often choose something else to do when being still makes you feel bad. The noise keeps the questions away. Being busy puts off feeling. Giving up means taking control. You're not bad because of any of this. It makes you a person, but it also keeps you away from the kindness that heals you. It was never meant for you to be separate from your heart. I am firm now because I have forgotten to be tender. Tenderness is important because it keeps compassion, joy, and faith from growing. Faith was never meant to work like a machine, for faith is a living link that is real, alive and responsive. You asked why peace doesn't seem to stay in one place. If you put off telling the truth, peace will not grow. When you ignore how you feel or give in to pressure to meet expectations, you shut down a part of yourself that was meant to help you. That voice is being fixed. Pay attention to how fast your life moves. Listen to how fast your thoughts are moving now. Take note of how quickly you judge yourself when you say you need to rest. That's not something I said. I don't judge your worth by how much you do. Love tells me how aligned you are. You got responsibility and pressure mixed up. Being responsible while being led by love feels stable. Stress caused by fear feels heavy. You will learn how to tell the difference. When fear drives you, your body gets tight and your mind goes crazy. When love drives you, your body calms down and your mind becomes clear. Please don't call fear discipline any longer. You formed habits to keep yourself safe that are now holding you back. Being too dependent on others kept you moving, but it also made you feel alone. You felt safe with emotional armor, but it also kept you from getting close. You moved forward because you were critical of yourself, but it also wore you out. These plans worked for a while. They don't have to decide what will happen in the future. Let go of what used to keep you safe but now holds you back. I'm also talking about how you deal with authority, especially the authority inside you. Because you were wrong once, you learned not to trust your gut. However, growth does not get rid of intuition, makes it better. You're not the same person you were before you made those choices. You now know. You have joined in. You are now able to tell the difference. Trust what you've been shaped into. Do not brush off a soft resistance you feel inside as fear. See if it's wisdom that wants more space. If you feel a calm pull forward, don't ignore it just because it's new. Ask yourself if it is alignment that makes you feel brave. You don't have to worry about me. I show you the way to peace. You've been holding on to anger. What you say doesn't matter anymore. Shows up as anger, cynicism, or withdrawal. It's not fake that it didn't hurt to forgive. When you forgive someone, you choose not to let the hurt determine your present. Keeping your anger inside won't protect you. It ties you down to pain. Limits are still there after release. It brings back freedom. Also, I can see how you've played down your own needs because other people seem to have more. Self-erasure happens when you don't set limits on your compassion. I never asked you to leave to show that I loved you. If love takes away your wholeness, that's not love that works for me. You can take up space without breaking the rules. Now I'm firm because time is important. Not because I don't like to wait, but because hiding the truth makes patterns stronger and harder to undo. Small alignment problems turn into habits. Habits become who you are. I'm stopping that progression to be clear. Some of you may feel bad as I talk. Not being safe is not discomfort. Discomfort is the return of awareness. Take a seat with it. Learn from it. Do not rush to put something else on your mind to calm it down. Being aware is the first step toward change. Use this message today. Choose to be honest in a situation where you usually do well. Tell the truth in a kind way. Put up a gentle limit. Don't push, but pause. Pay attention to how your body acts when you're not scared. Type, "I'm listening" in the comments if this hits home for you. Follow me. Don't stop now. Each part takes apart what drains you and puts together what gives you energy. What comes next will help you understand what's making you feel stirred. Let me talk to the place where you learned to settle down, my child. You didn't give up because you didn't have faith. You gave up because disappointment taught you to have lower expectations. You told yourself that it was smart. It was real, as you said. But what you really did was lower hope, so that it would hurt less if it failed again. I'm firm now because fear wasn't given to control hope. You were not made to live a cautious life. I can see the times when you had an idea, a longing, or a strong conviction, but you pushed it aside because it seemed risky. You learned to stop that stirring by using logic, something else to do, or waiting. You told yourself that now wasn't the right time. Time was important sometimes. At other times, fear showed up as patience. I'm teaching you how to tell the difference. Be patient and trust the process. Fear lays in wait with avoidance. I'm not mad that you became careful, my child. I'm sad when careful turns into closed. A heart that is closed can live, but it doesn't grow. Also, I didn't just make you to live. It was my plan for you to love deeply, make brave decisions, forgive deeply, and live honestly. Because your heart was hurt, you learned to keep it safe. For a while, guarding kept you safe. But protection that doesn't let up turns into a prison. Let go of the reins without losing your sense of what's right. Being wise doesn't make the heart harder, it makes it stronger. Pay attention to how often you tell yourself to endure instead of receive. Staying strong has value, but endurance without food or drink wears down the soul. You no longer have to show how strong you are. You already have strength in you. I'm now going to teach you how to receive without being suspicious. It's not weak to receive. You thought that being firm meant being cold, being quiet meant being mature, and being quiet meant being at peace. Real peace doesn't make you feel dull. It makes you steady. Real maturity doesn't shut down desire. It brings desire and truth together. The real kind of restraint doesn't kill life. It smartly sends it. I'm being firm now because I don't want you to be asleep. Some cycles keep happening, and you don't understand why. Most of the time, it's because you keep answering from the same spot. If you let fear rule, bad things will happen. When love leads, things happen that change your path. The answer from the past can't be changed, but the answer from now on can. Making a choice is where change starts. My child, I'm also talking about how you deal with sadness. It is quiet to carry, but it is heavy. You think back to times when things didn't go as planned, relationships didn't last, or prayers didn't answer the way you hoped they would. If you don't deal with your disappointment, it turns into resignation. I want you to think about it with me. Bring it out into the open. I'm not asking you to lie about what hurt. Tell yourself that hurt shouldn't decide what you can do. There is a way to honor pain without giving it power. You can remember well without living over and over again. To heal, you need to move, not stay still. This is the exact moment when information turns into real emotional healing. You are no longer letting hurts from the past limit what you can do in the future. Do something right now to help your own healing. Post, "My future is open," in the space below. Say it with confidence, knowing that any hope you put here will not fail. Stay focused until the end, because the next step toward clarity builds on this one. You've also learned to wait to be happy until you know everything is safe. After getting clear, being successful, and being stable, you told yourself that happiness would come later. Joy is not a reward for being in charge, though. Being joyful gives you strength. If you deny yourself joy, you become less strong. Happiness makes the heart stronger. I'm not mad that you learned these habits, my child. I'm firm because I'm taking them back. Patterns that used to keep you safe now keep you from getting close to me, to other people, and to yourself. For intimacy, you have to be there. Being present takes courage. Being brave doesn't make a noise. Being brave is being honest. You might feel resistance growing as I talk. That is not defiance, it is resistance. It's fear of losing charge. Take a seat with it. Do not try to silence it right away. Let being aware do its thing. Being aware is the key to freedom. You're also getting back in touch with your desire. Love-driven desire is not dangerous. When fear guides desire, it turns into a need. I'm teaching you how to listen to your wants without letting them control you. When truth is added to desire, it can show a calling. Calling starts out slowly. There's no need to jump. Pay attention. You don't have to show that you're ready. You need to stay in line. When doors are aligned, they will open on their own. What you are forced to do strains you. What aligns keeps you going. I want you to wake up, my child. Awake to your limits, your values, your compassion, your duty, and your joy. At first, this awakening might feel bad. Not being safe is not discomfort, it's growth. What has become stiff can be stretched by growth. Use this message today. Pay attention to one place where you've stayed out of fear. Don't judge it, just acknowledge it. Ask yourself if love or fear has been taking you there. That question should help you decide what to do next. If this makes sense to you, type Amen in the comments to show that you agree. Follow me. Keep listening until the end. Each part brings back what was dull and wakes up what was quiet. The next part will help you have steady courage that doesn't feel forced. My child, let me now talk to the place where the truth has been put off, not denied. You didn't fully reject the truth. You put it off. That was the promise you made to yourself when things were easier, when you felt stronger, and when life was calmer. But truth that is put off doesn't go away. It sits there, and waiting for the truth turns into inner unrest in the end. I'm firm now because my inner turmoil has been trying to get through to you. You felt it when there was no one else around to bother you, and it was quiet. One that you couldn't put your finger on. A feeling that something wasn't right, even though there was nothing that looked wrong. It wasn't anxiety that you felt. It was awareness calling for help. That awareness doesn't bother you anymore because you stay busy. Planes, thoughts, and responsibilities that keep you busy. Getting things done became a way to avoid listening. But avoiding has a price. The longer you put off facing what you need to, the heavier it gets. I'm not mad that you sidestepped me. I'm firm because avoiding has gone too far. You were not made to live a life that is separate from your inner truth. When you shut down that truth, you start to feel broken up. You act a certain way, but inside you feel split. Another part of you quietly fights the urge to move forward. That split takes away energy and makes things less clear. I want you to come back into integration. Living in a place where your actions and words are in line with your beliefs and where your pace shows what's most important to you is called integration. When these things are out of whack, it's hard to keep the peace. You might wonder why some things keep happening. Most of the time, it's because the same inner truth keeps getting pushed back. Lessons will be repeated in life, first gently and then firmly, until you become aware of them. No, this is not a punishment. It is love that doesn't give up. Love doesn't leave work unfinished. It makes sense to you to say that compromises are necessary. You told yourself you had no choice. There are times when choices really are limited. Sometimes fear limits our view until we feel like we have to make a compromise. I'm giving you more space to see so that you can still see where integrity fits in. Being honest doesn't mean you have to be perfect. Being honest is a sign of integrity. You have also learned that being tired is normal. As proof of your love, you wear it. Being tired all the time is not devotion, though. It is not balanced. I'm not impressed by how much you can handle. I'm interested in how aligned your life is. Alignment brings back strength. I'm being firm now because I want you to stop mixing up sacrifice and putting other people before yourself. Love-led sacrifice makes life better. It breaks down when neglect is passed off as sacrifice. You weren't supposed to disappear to stay true. When I tell you to slow down, think, or rethink certain patterns, you might not want to do them. That is not rebellion. It is resistance. It's the fear of change and upsetting what's comfortable, even if it's hard. Pain that you know feels safer than healing that you don't know. It's safer to heal than you think, though. Also, I want to talk about how you deal with guilt. You feel bad about things that should have taught you a lesson instead of punishing you. When guilt lasts after learning, it turns into self-condemnation. I really don't want you to live a bad life. I ask you to live a righteous life. The correction goes forward. When you feel condemned, you move backward. You have done more, given more, and proved more to shut down your guilt. That plan will never make peace. Peace comes when you fully forgive someone without putting any conditions on it or asking them to pay you back. Forgiving someone fixes a relationship, not a debt. I'm strict because I want you to be free from cycles that slowly drain you. Free from betraying yourself under the guise of responsibility. Free from choices made out of fear that are passed off as wisdom. Free from spiritual habits that don't build relationships. Honesty, not performance, is what builds true faith. We need to stop betraying ourselves under the guise of duty. Tell the Almighty what you want if your spirit is screaming for a real, living connection instead of just going through the motions. Write something like this: I choose real relationship. There is a lot of spiritual weight behind this small action. Keep a close eye on us as we break down the rest of the exhaustion. Without a connection, faith is empty. You can question things that no longer make you happy. When people ask questions to find the truth, it's not rebellion. When you ask honest questions, your faith grows, not weakens. You are not failing because you are taking another look. We see you growing. I'm also calling you to take care of things. Not harsh responsibility, but responsibility that you are aware of. It's your job to know when something feels wrong. Duty to think twice before agreeing to something that could hurt peace. It's your duty to tell the truth in a gentle way when keeping quiet would hurt your reputation. There is a cost to being quiet. Use this message today. Pay attention to one area where you've been putting off telling the truth. Do not fix it right away. Just say what you really think. Before you go, hear this. God is not done with what He started in you through this video. There is a home He is calling you into. A place where chosen ones pray together, carry one another, and grow in faith every single day. Find us through the link in the description. And if your heart is moved to sow, trust that God honors every seed planted in faith. We will see you on the other side, beloved. Becoming aware is the first step to getting in line. Type, I choose truth in the comments. If this message speaks to you, follow me and keep watching until the end. Step by step, each part brings clarity, courage, and healing by building on the last. Also, if these words have helped you think, change, or feel understood, please remember to like, subscribe, and share this message in a natural way so that other people can hear what they may be avoiding but really need to hear. If these words make you happy and give you hope, then sharing them is an act of love. Pay close attention, my child, because I'm about to talk to the place where you have learned to live divided, where one part of you wants the truth and another part is scared of what it will mean. This split wasn't caused by rebellion. It came from being tired. So when the soul gets tired, it starts to bargain with honesty instead of standing in it. I'm firm now because negotiating has made you weaker inside. You have taught yourself that giving in is smart, that being quiet is peaceful, and that putting things off is patient. Those things are true sometimes. But when they come from fear instead of wisdom, they pull you away from alignment in a quiet way. I'm calling you back to be clear, not to accuse you. It's making you tired to carry things that don't belong to you. You have expectations that were never said out loud. You are responsible for feelings that aren't yours to handle. You feel guilty about things that happened that you couldn't change. The weight on your body has hunched your back and made you smaller than you were meant to be. I'm firm because I want you to be honest and stable on the inside again. My child, I can see how often you put other people's needs aside to keep the peace. It's what you call progress. That's what you call kindness. Kindness that rubs off on you, though, is not love. Giving up your own needs is not necessary for love. Truth, being present, and taking care of each other are all parts of love. I'm giving you permission to fully exist again. You thought that endurance meant faithfulness. There is value in endurance, but endurance without food makes you bitter. I never told you to keep going without any breaks. I told you to obey, to stay in touch, responsive, and alive. Staying strong makes you stronger. Enduring on its own drains it. I'm being firm now because I can see that you are about to get angry. Not angry outbursts, but quiet, pulling away. When someone withdraws, they may feel numb, indifferent, or cynical. These are signs that your heart is closing to keep itself safe. I do not want you to be closed. I want you to get better. To heal, you have to be honest. You've also learned not to trust happiness. When happiness came, you were ready to lose it. It was said that happiness was short-lived, dangerous, and not yours. That thought did not come from me. Happiness is strong. Happiness is fuel. It makes you stronger so you can handle hard times without giving up. I'm firm because I want you to feel free to enjoy life again. You might feel bad when I talk about boundaries. Boundaries used to make you feel like they were rejected. You thought they might let other people down or make you look like you don't love them. But lines don't mean walls. They lead to doors. They make it clear who is responsible for what. They look out for what's important. When there are no limits, love turns into anger. I'm teaching you, my child, how to tell the truth in a calm but clear way. There's no need to go on and on. You don't have to explain why you set limits. It's enough to just give an honest answer. Speaking the truth with respect makes things clear. You are not responsible for how other people react, even if they don't want to do it. I'm also going to talk about how you deal with guilt. You have been driven by guilt. You had to do more, and give up more because of it. But obeying out of guilt does not lead to freedom. It makes you tired. I'm asking you to obey me out of love, not fear. Love asks you. Fear drives. You've asked if what you're doing is enough. That question alone shows that you are tired. When love is ahead, you don't have to ask yourself all the time if you're enough. You stay in the present. You give an honest answer. When you need to, you rest. That is being loyal. Being faithful lasts a long time. I'm firm because I don't want you to cut back on your life to avoid problems. Dealing with conflict in an honest way does not destroy peace. Avoidance does that. When you avoid the truth to keep things calm on the outside, the chaos inside gets worse. Building peace on silence is risky. Peace that is based on the truth lasts. Truth makes peace stronger. You don't have to deal with everything at once, my child. Stop acting like you don't see what you see. People are already aware. Alignment is now being asked for. Getting in sync starts with one honest step. When you think about making a different choice, you might feel more afraid. That fear doesn't mean anything. A bad habit that gets out of hand. Don't let your habits decide what you do next. Let it be led by wisdom. Wisdom talks in a calm way. Use this message. Pick one place today where you will tell the truth without apologizing. Be kind, be gentle, stay on the ground. Pay attention to how your body reacts when you lead with integrity. Write, I choose alignment below. If this message speaks to you, listen to me and stay with me. Don't go yet. Each part takes apart what has been draining you and puts back together what gives you strength. What comes next will help you live a clear life that doesn't require constant work. Stay with me, my child, because I'm about to talk to the place where you've learned to wait to obey until it feels safe. You told yourself that waiting was smart, putting things off was patient, and being quiet was grown up. Those things are true sometimes, but there were times when people waited out of fear instead of wisdom. Right now I'm firm because waiting to obey trains the heart to ignore what it already knows over time. You didn't stop hearing. You made no more comments. I can see how clearly you saw some truths the first time they came up. Before your mind tried to explain them away, you felt them in your body. You could feel the pause, but you kept moving. You could feel the line where you both agreed. You felt a change in direction where you kept insisting. Every time you said you'd come back later. Every time life pushed you forward and then made things heavier than they needed to be. My child, being obedient is not about being quick. It has to do with being responsive. When the truth shows up, it wants things to change. Not flashy movement, but real movement. A break, a word, a limit, or a choice. Truth gets quieter when you wait too long. It hasn't gone away. Your attention has just been drawn to something else. I'm firm because I want you to pay attention again. You got comfort and confirmation mixed up. Even though comfort is nice, it's not always right. It's peace, not ease, that comes with confirmation. There can be peace even when the next step is hard. Trust peace more than comfort. Comfort tends to keep patterns in place. Peace often leads to new things. My child, I know you've been afraid of what it will mean to obey. You were afraid of letting people down. It scared you to lose stability. You were afraid of making the wrong choice. Fear made obedience seem like a loss instead of a way to get along. It's wrong, and I'm here to fix it. You don't lose anything when you align. Alignment keeps you safe. You have also learned how to negotiate in a clear way. You told yourself, just this once, just a little longer, or after this season. Negotiation may seem harmless at first, but it slowly destroys trust. Being honest doesn't mean you have to be perfect. You have to be sure that what you know and what you do are the same. I'm now making that consistency right again. As I talk, you may feel resistance rising. That is not rebellion. It is resistance. Fear is letting go of you. Raise it up. Allow it to go. Do not rush to turn it off with something else. Listen to what the truth is telling you by letting yourself feel uncomfortable for a while. Often discomfort is the key to growth, my child. I'm also talking about how you think about consequences. You were afraid that obeying would cause trouble right away. But there are also consequences for disobeying. Tension, restlessness, fatigue, and loss of clarity are some of the quiet ones. If you obey, you will find peace, even if it costs you comfort. While disobeying may protect comfort, it comes at the cost of alignment. It's worth it to have peace. You were not made to negotiate with yourself all the time. That inner debate makes you weak. When obedience is your first reaction to clarity, inner conflict goes away. It doesn't get easier, but things become clearer. Clarity makes things easier. I'm being firm now because I can see how tired you are of fighting with yourself. You're sick of having to explain yourself to yourself. You're sick of defending decisions you've already asked yourself to question. You're sick of carrying around stress that the truth could ease. If you honor the truth, it eases tension. I'm teaching you, my child, how to be kind but firm. Being obedient doesn't mean being mean. Being honest is needed. You can politely say no. Stop without making a fuss. You are not judged if you change your mind. When actions follow the truth, they don't need to be defended. When alignment is present, defense goes away. You can also trust me again with small things. You believe that obedience needs to be big for it to matter. Chosen one, you did not find this by accident. God placed you here. He knew your name before this video began. And right now, He is calling you further, into a family of believers who walk this road together every single day. The link is in the description. Come and find your people. And if He is nudging you to give, that nudge is Him. Every seed you plant, He multiplies. God bless you, beloved. We are waiting. But small acts of obedience change your life in a quiet way. One honest talk, one respected boundary, one pause, and one decision put off until peace is reached. These small acts of obedience add up to freedom. Small steps help build strong bases. You might be afraid that you've been late for too long. Pay attention to this. You can get responsiveness back. You are still in the running even though you hesitated. People are now more aware. That's enough to start over. Start from where you are. I'm not mad at you because you had a hard time, my child. I'm firm because you can live in alignment right now. What seemed risky before is now ready. What didn't make sense before can now be seen. You are not the same person you used to be, so things that used to be too much for you are now manageable. You're bigger now. Take this message to heart today. By picking one truth you've been putting off and honoring it in a small, gentle way. Do not make it public. Don't make it big deal. Just respond. If you feel moved by this message, write, "I will respond" in the comments. Follow me. Keep listening until the end. Each part brings you closer to a life that feels honest, stable, and free of inner debate all the time. Listen up, my child. I'm going to talk to you about the place where you learn to keep the peace by avoiding the truth. You thought that keeping things quiet meant not saying anything. You thought it was safer to be quiet than to be honest. And that harmony was more important than alignment. It wasn't love that made them believe that. It came from fear, shaped by hurt from the past. I'm firm now because peace that is based on avoiding problems can't last. For peace to live, truth has to breathe. You know the tension that comes from words that aren't said. It makes your chest feel tight, your spirit feel tired, and your relationships feel distant. You told yourself that it was okay. You told yourself it was what it took to grow up. But being mature doesn't mean you have to hide how clear you are. As you get older, you learn how to tell the truth without being mean. My child, being quiet has kept you safe in the past, but being quiet has also kept you hidden. People will learn to ignore you if you don't speak your truth. There's no need for you to be rude. I want you to be honest, calm, and careful when you talk. Being honest brings back honor. Before you spoke, you learned to read the room. You learned to guess how people would react and change how you act based on that. This skill helped you deal with your feelings, but survival skills stop being useful when they aren't needed. I want you to stop being in survival mode and start being present. Being present lets you be real. You might be afraid that telling the truth will make things worse. Fighting doesn't always lead to destruction. Conflict is sometimes the sound of misalignment getting fixed. Speaking the truth in a calm way sets clear goals and shows what can be sustained. Avoidance slows down that clarity and makes things more confusing. Having clarity stops anger. My child, I'm also talking about how you understand kindness. Being kind does not mean you agree. Being kind doesn't mean being quiet. Being kind means telling the truth with respect. If you hide the truth to avoid pain, you give up short-term peace for long-term stress. Stress builds up quietly. You've had times when your body didn't want to do what your mind told it to do. You got past that resistance since you didn't want to let anyone down. Not giving up was not a sign of weakness. It was discernment that needed space. I'm showing you how to listen to it without getting upset, using your senses to stay safe. You might wonder why some relationships are so hard, even though nothing seems to be wrong. Most of the time, it's because the truth hasn't been free to move. Being honest is important for relationships to stay alive. Without it, connection turns into performance, and performance wears down the soul. You were not made to live your life. I'm firm now because I can tell you're worn out from holding back. You're sick of having to change your words, play down your needs, and carry tension that you don't say out loud. It's not ungratefulness to be tired. Something needs to change because of it. It starts with telling the truth. You don't have to explain why you are honest. You don't need to get speeches ready. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone. Be humble and clear when you say what you believe. Don't try to control what happens. Just let it happen. Peace is not control. You can trust me again, my child, that telling the truth in love won't break what's meant to last. What is lined up will move. What isn't aligned will become clear. In either case, you get clear. Clarity is not giving up. It's a direction. Finding your way calms you down. You've also been afraid of not being understood. It's uncomfortable to not understand each other, but it's not fatal. It's often safer to be misunderstood for a moment than to lie for a lifetime. Do not lower your voice to control how other people see you. Your voice is important. It's also my job to teach you how to stay calm. When honesty changes the dynamics change when truth comes into a space. Changes like that can be scary. Do not go back. Take deep breaths. Don't move around. Change will teach you what's real. Reality helps people grow. My child, I'm firm because you're now strong enough to live your life in public. What used to overwhelm you will no longer take over your life. You now know how to stop, listen, and talk without getting upset. Have faith in that shape. Believe what has been made. You might still be scared when you think about telling the truth. Fear doesn't mean to stop. Fear means be careful. Being brave doesn't mean not being afraid. Courage is choosing to be in line while fear loses its power. Alignment keeps courage steady. Today, use this message by figuring out one truth you've been hiding to keep things easy. Check to see if that comfort is taking away your peace. Pick one small step toward being honest, whether it's out loud or in your head, and stay grounded as you do it. Type, "I choose honesty" in the comments if this message hits home for you. Follow me and keep watching until the end. Each part frees you from patterns that used to keep you safe, but now hold you back. What's next will help you live an honest, open life that feels safe and steady. As I speak, my child, stay close to the spot where you learn to mix up endurance and obedience. You thought you were being faithful if you could just put up with enough, be quiet enough, or carry enough. But obeying isn't the same as suffering in silence. Obedience is aligning with what you want. Without alignment, endurance makes the heart harden over time. I'm being firm now because I want your heart to live, not just survive. You were not made to put up with things that need your silence. I see why you didn't stop when you should have. I can see why you said yes when your spirit needed space. I can see how you took on stress that wasn't even yours. You said it was because you were humble. You told yourself it was bravery. But being humble doesn't get rid of being smart. And being strong doesn't mean neglecting yourself, because you are being too patient. I am calling you. You felt a quiet rise of anger, not just toward other people, but also toward yourself. That anger that asked, "Why do I have to be the one to adjust all the time?" did not come from being selfish. Truth was ignored, which is what caused it. If you ignore the truth for too long, it will finally come out. Listen to being worn out. It's information. You might wonder why happiness seems far away, even when everything seems stable. When the soul feels trapped by its own silence, joy often goes away. Being honest is important for joy. You can't have joy in your life if you deny your own truth. That's why I'm firm. I want joy to come back, not put off. On top of that, you have learned how to spiritualize endurance. You told yourself that you would love more if you carried more. Love doesn't want you to go away, though. Love wants you to be there. To be present, you need to be whole, not empty. Being whole is not being selfish. Wholeness is important. I want to talk about how you feel about sacrifice. When love leads to sacrifice, life comes back. Fear-based sacrifice makes people angry. Your voice, your rest, and your clarity are things you gave up that I never asked you to. I'm taking that load off of you. Now, letting go doesn't hurt faith. Release brings it back. When you think about making a different choice for yourself, you might feel guilty. That's not the same as being convinced. Yes, it is conditioning. You were taught that taking care of your own needs was cheating on your partner. I am dispelling that idea. You can love sustainably if you take care of your needs in a responsible way. Sustainability is important to me. You've probably noticed that your body doesn't always agree with your mind. For example, your shoulders get tight, your breathing gets shallow, and you feel restless all the time. These don't mean you're weak. They're signs that something isn't right. Your body remembers things that your mind tries to forget. Do not be afraid to listen. I'm firm because you're now ready to answer differently. You're not as weak as you used to be. You now know how to stop and think. You now know how to breathe. You now know how to keep your cool when you hear the truth. Have faith in that growth. Trust that you are becoming more stable. You might be afraid that making a different choice will let other people down. Being let down isn't always bad. When you're disappointed, it can mean that your unrealistic expectations were too high. You are not responsible for keeping up with expectations that make you lose your honor. Having integrity is important to keep. I also want to talk about how you judge goodness. How much you give, how much you put up with, and how little you ask for have become ways for you to judge how good someone is. But goodness that comes from fear is not goodness that fits with me. Goodness that is in line with me is kind, honest, and complete. That's not true. Truth and love go together. You are learning not to feel bad about setting limits. Having limits does not mean you love less. Set limits to make love clear. When limits are respected, anger goes away and peace grows. When things are clear, peace grows. You might not be sure how to break these patterns. Do not make all the changes at once. Taking notice of where you feel stressed, where you feel calm, and where your energy goes away and comes back is the first step toward change. Being aware leads gently. We can't keep going the way you are because it costs too much. You shouldn't have to go through more, not because you can't. I want you to live, not just last. To live, you need courage. To use this message today, think of a place where you have been enduring instead of aligning. Don't be hard on yourself. Just acknowledge it. What kind of truth does that place need to honor? Take a small step toward getting in line. Type, "I choose alignment over endurance" in the comments if this message moves you. Follow me. Watch it all the way through. With each part, you let go of another burden you were never meant to carry and gain strength that will last. Don't leave me now, my child. I need to talk to the place where you have learned to quiet your longing. You told yourself that wanting more was a sign of not being thankful for what you already have, and that desire was dangerous. But longing wasn't put in you to hurt you. Desire was put in you to help you find your way. I'm firm now because you hid your longing instead of paying attention to it. You learned to control your wants because they used to make you unhappy. It hurt that you hoped. You reached, but then you fell. You told yourself that it would be smarter to stop wanting, dreaming, and hopeful. Your word for it was maturity. Being an adult does not kill longing, though. Growing up teaches you where to rest your longing. Ignoring longing doesn't make it go away. In the end, it becomes nothing. As a parent, I can see how you filled that void with work, responsibility, and fun. You kept yourself busy to hide the pain, so you wouldn't feel the loss. You stayed useful. You were strong so you wouldn't feel sad. Grief that is put off does not heal, though. It settles down and makes you feel heavy. I'm firm because I want to bring light back to your soul. No matter what, you were never meant to live out of desire. When desire is in line with love, it shows purpose. It points toward what gives life meaning and value. When you shut down your desire, you shut down your direction. Life stops moving and starts to stay the same. The point of your existence is not to keep going. You're meant to live it. You might be angry at me when I talk about desire. You're afraid it will make you unhappy or antsy. You can't be unhappy because you want something. It's caused by being out of place. If your desire is in line with the truth, it won't go crazy. It helps you concentrate. Focus brings peace back. I'm also talking about how you learn to doubt hope, my child. You told yourself that hope left you open to harm. You thought that being let down showed that hope was pointless. But hope doesn't lead to disappointment. Hope was never meant to rest in places where they are now. Hope that is put in me doesn't fall apart. I'm being firm now because you chose emotional safety over spiritual health. It's important to be safe, but being safe without moving is like being stuck. It's dull, heavy, and lifeless to be in stagnation. It's not laziness that makes you feel that way. It is waiting to be honored with love. Take a listen to that dullness. It wants to wake you up. Some people may wonder why rest hasn't fully healed them. Being tired can be fixed by rest, but it can't replace having a purpose. Both are important. Being at rest without a plan leads to boredom. If you don't take a break, you'll get burned out. I am bringing balance back. To bring life back, balance ist. You have also learned to ignore your longing by looking at how you compare to other people. You told yourself you should be happy with what you have since other people have less. Being thankful is important, but being thankful doesn't mean you have to stop growing. You can be thankful and still be asked to step forward. If God brought you here, He brought you here on purpose. These videos cost us everything and earn us nothing. Your support is what keeps this mission alive. Every gift, every seed, God honors it. Thank you from our whole hearts. Now, there is a place God is calling you to, a real community of chosen ones, people who pray together, grow together, and carry each other. God says, don't stay on the outside. The link is below. Come home, beloved. Thankfulness and growth can go hand in hand. If you want a life that feels aligned, you don't have to say sorry for it. It's not selfish to want alignment. To want meaning is not to rebel. To want depth is not to be unthankful. These wants are signs that life is getting active. Things need to move. My child, I'm not telling you to follow your dreams or demand results. Please be honest when you listen. What are you no longer letting yourself want? What dream did you shut down because it didn't seem like it would work? What call did you put off because it seemed like too late? It's still possible. If you hope again, you're afraid of being let down. But being let down didn't destroy you before. It taught you how to be smart. Now, wisdom can lead hope in the right direction, instead of fear shutting it down completely. Wisdom makes hope better. Fear bury it. Thoughts, conversations, and quiet reflections have given you sudden bursts of inspiration. You quickly threw them out. You told yourself not to get too excited. Not being wise led to that dismissal. It was a way to protect yourself. Protection has done its job. Now you are being asked to be responsive. Responding gives you direction again. Because I don't want you to shrink your future to fit your past. I am firm. You learned from the past, but it doesn't get to shape your future. You're not the same person who got hurt. You are not understanding things the same way I am. You have the power to make a different choice now. Growth has made you ready. You don't have to act on every longing right away, but you should stop being quiet about them. Let them be without judging them. Let them be looked at with wisdom instead of fear. When longing is heard, it turns into guidance. Guidance makes things clear. Take this message to heart today by naming one desire you've been putting off. Don't do anything about it yet. Just admit it without feeling bad about it. Find out what it's pointing you toward. Peace, creativity, connection, a reason to live. Let that awareness start to bring you back to movement. If this message moves you, write, "I allow myself to hope," in the comments. Follow me. Watch it all the way through. Each part wakes up a different place where fear has kept life from moving forward. What's next will help you move forward without having to hurry or go back.